Hello everyone and welcome again. So this is the preview of the sim. We're at frame 77 now. It's still caching and you can see that the ground is starting to fall, but it's holding up together. It's wobbling. It feels like it's a piece of cloth, and that's the effect I was looking for. This is the type of surface that I need. And the main advantage of this is gonna make it feel very organic. It's gonna give it the bendiness that we want. It's gonna feel large and everything. So this is the effect I'm looking for. You can see towards the end the underneath surface is pushing and the effect that we want is working. It's just that the surface, the constraints are holding up the geometry quite a bit, to the point that it's not allowing it to fall as we have seen previously. So we need to increase the mass of the RBD system, okay, and also increase the gravity. So we're going to do that, and we'll see how that affects the sim. So yeah, this is the final result, but we're getting all the effects that we want. This is very natural, and I didn't have to set up any clustering, anything like that, because of this spin constraint, it will always bend and crack in the right location. Okay, because it's linking the pieces by their corners, and then whenever there is a bend or deformation there, if it reaches 0.07, the angle reaches 0.07, it's gonna break it. And I think I'm gonna run a couple more frames. I want to see how it's gonna behave, because it's starting to split here, which I have in the main scene. And I think that's very natural. We could work on this a bit more if we wanted to get specific patterns. We can always create a separate glue constraint and tell it to hold a couple of pieces together and make sure that those will never bend. So for example, we could get clustering like this, but right now it's very natural. Imagine you have a piece of paper and you try to just slice it by hand. You get ripples and cracks everywhere, and they follow whatever pattern, whatever force you're going to apply to the paper. So that's exactly what's happening here, and I like this, especially with large scale. This is what I want. So let's see how it's gonna. Yeah, I think it's gonna continue. Like, this crack is gonna spread, and that's very natural. And maybe the ground will end up falling because there's nothing holding it up, and then it also broke in this corner, so it's gonna propagate. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, see that? There it broke. Very natural. Okay, it's working. So we want to increase the gravity and the weight. We can do this using a RBD configure node. And this is Houdini 18 workflow. I'm going to connect the RBD here, and then we have various options that we could change. And let's see, I'm going to increase this to 10 kilograms, and that will multiply the object by 10. So let me make sure always on top. So no, we need to go lower. So I need the density to be higher, basically. That's it. We could leave this to kilogram and then go under density here and change it by hand. And I'm gonna set it to 10,000, and for the gravity I'm gonna go to the solver and force, and I'm gonna increase this to -15 instead of 9.8. I'm gonna do a sim and see if that gives us the collapse effect that we want. And always remember that we still have the second layer of the geometry underneath it that is going to be active as well. So if we make it thicker, it's going to hold up even more, because there is more pieces packed together, and it's going to be a lot more rigid. So we have to be, we may have to tweak these values again, but for now I'm keeping it to the thin layer so that we get the quick results. The other thing is, if we put the other piece back, which is 3 times the thickness of this, it will also pull everything a lot more because it's bigger. It's gonna cause it to fall down faster. And if these settings didn't give us the effect, I'll probably turn it on to make sure that we get a preview of the final geometry and get the proper physical behavior. So let's run a test again and see how that looks, and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.